everyone, and welcome back to the 7th IESF World Championships here in Seoul, South Korea. I'm Artosis alongside State, and we are about to have the last round of 8 StarCraft 2 match.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. We've got a really good match coming up. It's Serral versus Aphrodite, who might surprise people making it into the top 8, but she's doing really well.
Yeah, she certainly is. In fact, Aphrodite, if you don't know about her, a professional StarCraft 2 player in South Korea who is a woman, and quite a strong one at that. She is in the GM ladder over here.
Yeah, it's impressive. So we should have a really competitive match coming up.
Yeah, no doubt. And for those of you who don't know, Serral, this guy is a young Finnish player, a very strong one indeed. I remember the first time I got to cast Serral way back at a DreamHack some years ago, and just blew me away. He was playing like a Korean as a very young kid, and definitely a lot of potential in him. I think that he has a decent chance here if he can beat Aphrodite to win the whole tournament.
And the winner of this match will be in the top 4, is that correct?
That's right, yeah.
So.
And for those of you who are tuned in right now, please go out there and let people know that we're on. Definitely not enough people watching this for how cool the tournament IESF is. We have so many different countries, so many different gamers coming together here in Seoul for this tournament. We have Hearthstone here, StarCraft, League of Legends, and as you can see, look at all these different countries that sent players down here. It's just an awesome tournament to be a part of.
Yeah, this is a really exciting match coming up too.
Indeed it is. Well,
South Korea versus, where is Serral from again?
He is from Finland.
Finland. I think Aphrodite is the last South Korean representative in this tournament too, which might surprise a lot of viewers.
Yeah, in Hearthstone they're already out, so that's definitely something to take into consideration. But take a look here, guys. This is how the group phase went. Now, we are in the round of 8 right now, but this is the last match left, which is Serral against Aphrodite. Other than that, we actually have Mystery going through. We have Ender going through overnight in there. That was kind of a surprising one. And then Haas actually taking out Zanster, the very aggressive Taiwanese Protoss, showing a lot of skill here this weekend. So there you have it, the bracket indeed. So Aphrodite, this is Terran's last chance in this tournament.
Yep. Last Terran in the top 8. Tomorrow we will have a PvP between Haas and Mystery. And the winner of this match will go on to face Ender. And yeah, I feel like regardless of who wins, that's going to be a really close match.
Yeah, I think you're right. Ender, he's been around forever and doing very well, but I guess we can talk more about him tomorrow when we get to cast that. But as we see here, our map set for this will be Orbital Shipyard to start out for Freon Terraces as map number 2. Oh, that's a fun map with all those gold bases. And then if we make it to set 3, Ruins of Ceres, an absolutely gigantic 4-player map. So 3 maps that play out completely differently here.
Yeah, and I'm actually not quite sure how Freon Terraces plays out in TVZ, but definitely in the ZVP matchup, it's really a Zerg favorite map because of how quickly you can get those gold bases going.
Yeah. You know, gold bases, they're pretty good, right?
But, yeah, so I'm interested in seeing how that map plays out. But this first one, Orbital Shipyard, pretty straightforward macro map. In-base natural expansion, easy to take third. Looks like we're probably going to have a macro game coming up if they don't go for timing.
Yeah, it definitely could be. I'm interested to see if Aphrodite actually wants to go for something a little bit aggressive. Serral, on the other hand, as you see here, this guy, he has a wide range of play, but I think he's going to try to play a very reactive type of Zerg here. Try to just shut down any attacks that Aphrodite brings at him and get to that late game, because right now in Legacy of the Void, Zerg is very strong in the late game against Terran.
Yeah, especially with that new Chitinous plating. Instead of +2 armor, +4 Ultralisks are really the new Immortals.
That's a really good way to put it. The new Immortals, they do not ever die, and Terran definitely knows that with the nerfed Marauder. So we'll see what Aphrodite has up her sleeve. I'm kind of expecting some heavy Reaper play possibly from her on one of these maps, maybe this first map, or Freon Terraces. Yeah,
Freon Terraces with the gold bases, probably Reaper play would be very good there.
Yeah,
try and keep Zerg contained on 2.
Yeah, if she could do that, that would be really good for that map. But I wouldn't want her to use it twice, so maybe just back up into a more regular type of macro game.
That's what I would expect to see on Orbital Shipyard. But Aphrodite, we haven't seen her in a lot of tournaments, so she's kind of a wild card. We don't really know what's going to happen.
That's right. She really doesn't make it into a lot of those top tier tournaments. Still a very strong player indeed, and definitely someone to be reckoned with in this tournament. But Serral, this guy, he's really one of these up and coming players. So excited to see how he can do here. It's like we'll lose our feed there from the... Okay, there we go. But it looks like our first map is starting. And it is, of course, once again, going to be Orbital Shipyard. Guys, get out there, hashtag IESF, and let everyone know that this is on, because, you know, people might not know. right, here we go into that first game.
Here we are. Looks like Serral going for a really fast expansion. And I really like this decision to take the natural outside of his, what would be most players' third base as a Zerg player, because with the in-base expansion, taking a really easy third base is so safe. And it gets your creep spread going out to the middle of the map so much sooner. It's a really smart play.
It's a really good point, but do you think it's maybe a bit risky? What if Aphrodite had gone for like Proxy, Barracks, Reaper or something like that? Would this be harder to hold?
I think it definitely is a good early game risk, but if it pays off, it's huge because your creep spread is out so much quicker.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to control the mid game as a Zerg player, which is really so crucial to getting to the late game where you can get those Ultralisks. And those,
indeed. That should be where Aphrodite shines here, is that mid game. Can she hit some of these timing pushes that are very strong against Zerg, knock him back down to size a little bit so that he can't get up to those giant immortal Ultralisks?
Yeah, it looks like Aphrodite is going for a fast expansion. Not clear whether it's one rack CC or CC first, but throwing up 2 gas geysers now, so definitely some sort of tech play. Not the Reapers that we might have been expecting before. And it looks like Serral might be saving up to get a third base very soon.
Well, yeah, I think that we should be seeing that third being taken by Serral pretty quickly here. He is getting the quick speed as well. Those Reapers can be very scary if you don't do that, so it makes a lot of sense. But no Reapers coming out of Aphrodite, and this is right about when they would get to Serral's base, so he's starting to figure out quite quickly that he is actually safe for this early game.
Yeah, Aphrodite Scout now getting killed in Serral's base, and it looks like Serral still sticking on 2-hatch. Might be taking the third soon as minerals are floating a little bit. We'll see. I'm actually not quite sure what the third base timings are like in ZVT. With Legacy of the Void, the expansions are so much more quick, and there it is going down now.
Yeah, that's pretty normal what we see right now, at least what I've seen so far watching a lot of Legacy of the Void. Of course, guys, this expansion just barely came out in November, so very exciting to see how these players are adapting to this new game, and it's really quite different from Heart of the Swarm. It is giving us a lot of different opportunities to see people use multitasking, micro harassment, those types of strategies very well.
Yeah, Legacy of the Void, as opposed to Heart of the Swarm, is much more about really big macro games with lots of bases being taken, and it's a lot more about harassment as opposed to straight up fights. And oh boy, this is a disaster.
That is brutal right there. Delaying this factory from landing with these Zerglings, and Aphrodite already in a little bit of trouble. Serral getting some great scouting going on, having those Zerglings into her main base. He's getting a ton of intel. Oh man, even taking out SCVs and a mule? That's brutal.
Yeah, this is a pretty tough opening start for Aphrodite, but she does have her Hellions down. They're in production. And she's throwing down 2 starports, as a matter of fact.
If he sees that, that is like the worst thing that could happen to her. But
yeah, but it looks like these Marines are doing a really good job of cornering the Zerglings. It doesn't look like they're going to get a scout off.
Oh, he's really trying to sneak one out. And oh my God,
he does get one in.
Zerglings actually sneaks by and sees 1, 2 starports. Okay, this is the worst thing that could ever happen to Aphrodite here. Yeah. She is in so much trouble now.
Yeah, now Serral has exactly, he knows exactly what to expect, which is probably going to be, I'm expecting maybe Cloak Banshee play. Yeah, so, 2 tech labs, that looks like it's going to be.
Well, you know, this is, I don't know how well this is going to work out now that it's been scouted. Seeing those 2 starports, I think that's pretty much what you would expect here, is that it's going to be a couple 2-port Banshee.
Yeah, if these 2 starports had gone unscouted, it had the potential to do so much damage, but now that Serral knows exactly what to expect, it's probably unlikely to get too much done. Taking his creep timber there for a second.
Well, we have some Roaches out right now. Already 5 Queens out for Serral as well, so he's able to get a lot of creep spread down on this map, and of course, having that many Queens, it's going to help out against the Banshees quite a bit as well.
Yeah, and it looks like he's throwing down a Spire now, so it looks like his response to this 2 starport Banshee play is going to be Mutalisks, which shut it down pretty hard.
Yeah, it's certainly the case, but the Spire is a little bit late. It just started, and we do have these Banshees really quite on the way, so we do have to see Serral still be careful, and we do see him starting to throw down some Spore Crawlers around the map.
Yeah, and these are really well timed. If you look at the production tab, Cloak is just now finishing, so if those Banshees were already across the map, he would be just perfect to defend with them.
Well, let's see how he's going to be able to go ahead and defend. It looks like the Banshee is actually just going to stay home for Aphrodite for the time being.
Yeah, maybe Aphrodite, feeling that the Banshees have already been scouted, they don't really have the potential to do damage, but
sending 2 out, what's going to happen? You're just going to be poked by a bunch of queens and spore crawlers, lose some health.
Yeah.
May as well wait till you have enough to actually do some damage.
Yeah, in the worst case scenario, the mutas pop out and kill him. So
yeah.
Definitely a smart move there after having the Banshees get scattered to keep them back at home. And instead taking a third command center now and actually going for mech play. I wasn't expecting this.
No, I certainly wasn't either. We actually haven't seen that much mech in Legacy of the Void so far in Terran vs. Zerg, even though it was very strong there at the end of Heart of the Swarm. You know, some of these changes that we've seen have actually really allowed for Zerg to deal with it a little bit better, especially the Viper.
Yeah, the Viper's new ability, Parasitic Bomb, is that what it's called? Just absolutely crushes Terran air units and even Protoss air units as well.
It crushes Zerg air units even. it's a really crusher.
Good. Yeah, Parasitic Bomb, if you're unaware, the Viper's new ability, it's a bomb that is thrown onto an enemy air unit, and it actually acts like, what was the ability called in StarCraft?
Irradiate.
Irradiate. And it's an AoE damage, so, oof. These Banshees getting caught in the middle of the map.
Oh man, losing a Banshee right now. These Banshees have done nothing. Buying 4 Cloaked Banshees and dealing 0 damage and losing 1 already. That is a lot of money put in for no return.
Yeah, and she actually doesn't have a lot of anti-air to deal with these Mutalisks. 2 Thors popping out now, but the turrets are just completing. And there's not really much defending the factories.
Well, looks like another Banshee does fall. The other one taking a lot of damage. And as you said, there's just not anti-air here. The 2 Marines, the only things that shoot up, do walk out. But the Mutas can obviously deal with that very quickly. And this is just looking terrible for Aphrodite here.
Yeah, it looks like Serral's going to try and focus on some add-ons, maybe go for some more production units, but we're going to be popping out now and probably going to shoot these Mutalisks away. But, oh wow, a lot more just coming in her main base.
The Mutas actually kind of are zoning out all the ground units, so it looks like Serral can go ahead and hit this front anyways. Not really microing that very carefully, but here we go. Actually getting in, a depot is down, so the Roaches and Lynx can come in immediately, but there is a siege tank. There are a lot of Hellions as well. Mutas fly forward, taking out the Banshees, and starting to help out here on the siege tank as well.
Yeah, it looks like Aphrodite actually has a pretty big ground force, but the Roaches and Lynx are doing so much damage. Even though she's defending, this is a really good trade for Serral.
Oh, look at that. Taking down so much right now. Even these Thors taking a lot of damage here.
Yeah, the Zerglings around on the Thor, she's not able to repair it, and then just 1 remaining.
Man, her army is so small right now. A few units are popping out. Another contamination there on the factory. Yeah, Serral really using absolutely everything in his power to deal damage to Aphrodite.
Yeah, and more Roaches and Lynx rallying across the map, and those 2 contaminates, one delaying the story ladder to pick it off with the Zerglings, and the second one delaying her production even more. Had a really big impact on her not being able to defend that push.
Wow. Very well done by our Finnish player here, Serral. You know, I gotta say, I think what was key for him here was when he got those Zerglings into Aphrodite's base. When he got those in, not only did he harass her, slow down the factory from landing, you know, keep her busy, kill a few SCVs, but he scouted that double starport, which has to be a surprise.
Yeah, and once you scout that double starport, the potential as a Terran player to actually do damage with that, it's almost non-existent against any competent Zerg player. So Serral, one of the best Zerg players out of Europe, as soon as he spots that, he knows exactly what to do. And those Banshees did no damage, and Serral responded perfectly.
Yeah, and, you know, to make 4 Cloaked Banshees, to make 4 Cloaked Banshees and have them do nothing, this is why she didn't have any defense against those Mutalisks. She put so much money into getting those Banshees out, and the fact that he scouted that, the damage wasn't done, he was able to get right into those Mutalisks and just clean her up very quickly. So, kind of a very technical, sneaky build by Aphrodite, absolutely falling flat, but that doesn't mean that our next game is going to look anything like that.
And I'm actually wondering whether she's going to go for the similar style of mechanic play, or if she's going to switch it up and go bio, because, at least in my opinion, after watching a lot of Terran versus Zerg games, say on like streams on Team Liquid, it seems like bio is typically what Terran players are going for.
Yeah. Definitely, I've seen that as well. I don't see hardly any mech right now, like a lot of bio play. Have some Liberators mix in there. That's a unit that can be very difficult for Zergs to deal with. We'll see what she goes for, but the next map being Crown Terraces, you have to be careful about those gold bases because Zerg loves gold bases.
Absolutely. Being able to produce a lot of units on a low drone count is one of Zerg players' dreams. Because a lot of the big vulnerabilities in Zerg play come from when you're droning up to try and fully saturate your 2 or 3 bases. But when you have gold bases, you need so few drones to saturate that and get a good income that you can immediately start producing ground units to defend any sort of push that comes your way. So Aphrodite definitely going to have to pull out another aggressive build this map.
Yeah, you know, what I would really like to see from her here is some heavy, aggressive Reaper play. I think that, you know, if even up to 3 Barracks Reaper can be quite strong right now. And that might be something, if Serral gets greedy, that could knock him down.
Yeah, especially on Prion Terraces with 2 entrances in the main base for the Reapers to come in. Unlike Orbital Shipyard, which is very straightforward, Prion Terraces, there's a really good chance that the Reapers can do damage if he decides to go for them.
All right, well, we do have the game starting now in Prion Terraces. In the top left, our Zerg player, it is Serral.
And in the bottom right, spawning is the blue Terran.
Blue, you say?
In the bottom right, spawning is the blue Terran, we have the Korean Terran player, Aphrodite, who is switching it up, not going for a fast expand this game. Might be that Reaper play.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. As you said, there is a little place to jump up to get into the main base on this map as well. So even if she doesn't want to go for like a super aggressive Reaper play, even just getting 1 Reaper, you're going to be able to harass a little bit. You're going to be able to scout a lot. So it's definitely a strong opening, and one that we do see a lot of professional Terrans using right now against Zerg.
Yeah, and I think Serral has the same kind of intuition that we have about this game, because he's going for a pretty fast spawning pool and gas geyser, so he's going to have speed very quickly to defend any potential Reaper aggression.
Yeah, well, you know, those Reapers, now that they do have those KD8 grenades, it's very difficult to actually hold them off if you don't have that quick circling speed. So Serral just playing very safely here, and with that early gas, it shouldn't be too much of an issue dealing with 1 Barracks Reaper play coming at him. Yeah,
Aphrodite going for a very fast expand, as opposed to going for something like 3 Barracks Reaper. I still like this play because even with just 1 Barracks Reaper, if a Zerg player plays really greedy and goes for a fast gold base, you can still do a lot of damage on that.
Absolutely the case. You know, the Reaper actually gets there very, very quickly, and with those grenades, you can kind of manipulate where the queens are at, which allow you to stay alive a little bit longer, deal a little bit extra damage to those drones. And as you see here, some of our players and coaches and whatnot coming down for this wonderful event, the IESF 7th World Championship in Seoul, South Korea.
Yeah, and Aphrodite, you know, she saw everything. She saw the natural expand, she saw the extractor, and she saw the timing of these Zerglings, so she knows exactly what Serral is opening up with, which is just standard ZVT play. Yeah, and, you know, based on what she's seeing here, I don't think she's going to be scared or anything. This is probably what she expected anyways. And it's good that she decided to just go ahead with the single Reaper opening as opposed to something a little bit more aggressive, because with how conservatively Serral's playing this, no quick gold base, you know, and the fact that he's getting such quick speed, I don't think that additional Reapers really would have made too much of a difference. Yeah, I really like the decision to go for a fast 3rd command center. Yeah, indeed. Definitely something we've been seeing a lot of as well. As you were saying, in Legacy of the Void, it's so much about expanding, it's so much about macro, and just getting a little bit of harassment damage done. But how will Aphrodite go about getting that harassment damage? Do you think she's going to go into Hellion play here? Oh, well, the factory's finishing up now, so it's going to tell, but I don't know. On this map, with Speedlings already out, I don't think Hellions would do that much damage. And it looks like her tech choice is actually going to be a tech lab on that factory, and she's going for a siege tank, so she's playing really safe. Yeah, that's very safe. She might be looking to actually take the gold base very quickly this game and using the siege tank on the ledge to defend it. Oh, but these Zerglings. Oh, that's annoying. That's yeah, even no cancel. Oh my god, she's actually going to go ahead and lose a few of these Marines here. 3 Marines out in the open. And it looks like they will be taken down. Of course, a reactor on that barracks, able to pump out some more Marines and be able to chase these off. But those Zerglings, very worthwhile here for Serral. Yeah, not having a wallet or natural expansion really was dangerous. If Serral had committed to going for more Zerglings, he could have done so much damage. But as is, Aphrodite with a pretty nice defense. She lost 1 supply depot, a couple of Marines, but she was able to deflect that small attack. Well, right now, he did get to see that there's a tech lab there on the factory, so that's kind of an interesting thing. You don't see that too often early game unless it was making it for a starport. So yeah, he's definitely got to keep an eye out for what that could mean for him going forward. Yeah, and when you see a tech lab on a factory in Legacy of the Void, typically it's going to mean either siege tanks or cyclones. And cyclones and TBZ, they're not quite that good against Zerglings. Speedlings are pretty good against them. Yeah, so I think you can intuit that probably this is going to be factory play, which means she's going to be playing really defensive, leading at their command center, and Serral does send in Scouting Overlord, and he's going to lose it, but he does get confirmation that this is a 3CC play.
Yeah, and being able to see exactly what's there. There's 3 barracks. You know, we do have a tech lab upgrading stim. Serral has a lot of information now, which is really nice. But Aphrodite jumping in, seeing that layer timing,
and seeing those 2 evolution coming chambers. Up. Yeah, after seeing those 2 evolution chambers, she can feel pretty safe, as a matter of fact. The odds of the Zerg player going for a timing that's not going to sync up with those attack and armor upgrades is really, really thin.
Yeah.
So while she can expect some pressure, seeing those 2 evolution chambers when as you're a Terran player going for 3cc, it feels really good, especially considering her engineering waves are actually faster than the Zerg's evolution chambers.
Yeah. That's actually a big, big deal, especially in Terran versus Zerg when you're going for bio against just whatever Zerg is going. You need to have your upgrades as quickly as possible. There's so many shots going off. The upgrades really make a gigantic difference. So right now, this game looking way better than the last game for Aphrodite.
Yeah, but Serral throwing out a 4th base, and it is going to be a gold. So his economy is going to be booming really, really shortly.
Well, Serral continuing to try to scout here, poking in with this Overlord, seeing what he can see. Aphrodite, in the meantime, is taking her own gold base right now, so definitely can catch that economy up quite a bit. Has to be careful, though. Serral's been poking around a lot with speedlings, and if he picks off a bunch of SCVs there, that's really going to hurt.
Yeah, and Serral now up to about 66 drones. That's the ideal amount you want to have on 3 bases as a Zerg player. So he's going to be really gearing up his unit production now, and looks like he's going to go for some attack.
Well, right now the Zerglings coming into this gold base, but the Marines of Aphrodite are there and chase those Zerglings away.
I don't think she lost a single SCV there, which is good defense. But she's definitely going to need to gear up for defending whatever push comes next.
And
looks like Infestors in production. That's a surprise.
I like that. I like to see the Infestors being made right now. You know, I mean, fungal growth plus corrosive bile, not too bad.
Yeah, that's a pretty good combination.
Definitely a pretty good combination. Those corrosive vials can be hard to land at times, but if you have the fungal down, going to be a whole lot easier.
Yeah,
so
definitely
a strong set of units. And Serral immediately going up to Hive, and quick Hives nowadays are all the rage in Zerg vs. Terran.
Ultralisks are so powerful now in ZVT with their increased armor, and also the Marauders nerf. Having 2 attack shots instead of 1 means armor is twice as effective against them.
And let's not forget that Adrenal Glands for Zerglings now boosting that attack speed by 40%.
Yeah.
So Zerglings being much more effective in the late game. All right, now we do have a little drop coming out by Aphrodite. Looks like she's going to go around the left-hand side of the map, maybe deny that 5th base, maybe try to harass the 4th base that's at that gold, because Serral's income right now is pretty crazy.
She's going to need to pull back now. Combat shield still isn't complete. And right now she just has Marines and only 2 medevacs, and one of them is moving out on this side of the map for a drop, and I believe in the top right corner another medevac is moving out. So none of them are at home.
Well, let's see what actually happens with this going forward. This drop going up, seeing that 5th base. Going to go ahead and see the 4th is really well saturated. In the meantime, a drop in that main, very nice. Some spines going up, but are not ready quite yet.
Economic damage too, and at the 4th base as well.
Wow, very nice drop in the main here. Already killing quite a few drones.
Yeah, 6 drones going down.
Yeah, got the queen as well, actually.
Yeah, and she also saw the Hive, so she knows exactly what's going to be coming. And the fungal of the corrosive bile picks off the medevac. Really nice play out from Serral.
Yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. You know, sometimes if you don't go for Mulus, if you just go for Link, Ravager, it's hard to stop these medevacs, but with that fungal growth, it's not nearly as bad.
And Serral actually going for double roach drop.
Was not expecting that.
Wow. It looks like Aphrodite go for another drop herself, so both players playing pretty passively, but looking to get a lot of harassment damage done.
Well, right now Aphrodite hitting this 5th base. Looks like, it will be cleaned up here.
Yeah.
Really doing a great job with those fungal growths. Mixing in those 3 infestors, paying off hugely right now for Serral, who, by the way, is going into Ultralisks now.
Yeah, 3 Ultralisks in production now, and Chitna's plating, and I believe they have +1 or +2 armor, so they're going to be really, really durable in these upcoming fights.
Well, right now we have a drop from Aphrodite once again in Serral's main. In the meantime, a bunch of Zerglings coming over this gold base, so Siege Tanks are going to clean up, but the splash damage, dealing huge amounts of damage to these SCVs as well.
Yeah, still 10 SCVs mining the gold base. You don't need too many, oh my god. Another fungal and another corrosive violets picks off another medevac.
I'm loving it, man.
Yeah, this infestor play is really, really good. Like you said, as a Zerg player that's going for a ground-based army instead of Mutalisks, it can be really difficult to deal with drops, but we have another push coming from Serral. Oh my god. These corrosive biles doing so much work.
Yeah, they really are. And just like that combination, I tell you, I know what I'm going to start doing.
Oh, this Ultralisk.
Well, they are immortal when they're alone like that behind enemy lanes. But right now, we do have a Roach drop going off here in that natural base. Actually starting to go off quite a bit. In the meantime, Aphrodite pushing on a creep here. And we do have, it looks like, Corrosive Biles come down, missing all their shots that time, but pushing him back.
Typically, it's the Terran players we see going for multi-prong attacks, but Serral's attacking at 3 places at once. He has a drop in the main, a drop in the natural, pushing the front. He's all over the map. The
Roaches are doing sick work here. Look at this. Over even 20 SCVs dead already.
Oh my god. Just look at the supplies. 200 supply to 131. That Serral's got such a big bank now, too.
Yeah, this is a really big deal. He's doing a great job. His creep spread, by the way, is absolutely phenomenal all over the map. And here we go. The Ultra is coming forward.
That's so many Ravagers.
Yeah, that is a lot of Ravagers right there. And going to be able to take out these Siege very quickly. Oh, beautiful right there. And Serral ends up taking out Aphrodite 2-0 here in really convincing play.
Yeah, I really love the Aspen options in Game 2 that he went for.
Yeah.
The Roach drops combined with the push at the front, it was so much to deal with in such a short amount of time.
I just absolutely love the mixing in of 3 Infestors very early on. He started those right away while he was going up to Hive, and they helped so much. He killed off like 4 drops with those just by throwing down the Fungal and throwing down some Corrosive Biles. Just fantastic play, really kind of gutting what Terran players use to deal with that type of unit composition.
And losing those 4 dropships is a lot of the reason why that Aphrodite didn't actually have enough to deal with the big push at the front. Or the push, or the drops in her main or her natural. She just lost so many units, and I think she wasn't expecting it because the Zerg player wasn't going for Mutalisks.
Yeah, no, when they don't go for Mutalisks, drops are the answer. And this time, Serral showed us that there is another way to play. There is another option, and that's really cool, I have to say. Definitely something I'll be trying on the ladder this week.
Serral definitely showing 2 completely different styles of Zerg.
Yeah.
Game 1 going for the Mutas and the big Roach Link timing attack, and then Game 2, lots of harassment, big frontal push with Ultralisks. Really cool play from Serral.
Yeah, and that means that Korea is not going to win StarCraft here at IESF. And that's always a big surprise in StarCraft to have Korea out of the running, not even making top 4 here. And that gives us a Protoss versus Protoss and a Zerg versus Zerg in that round of 4.
Yeah, so it looks like we're definitely going to have a PvZ finals. I'm just wondering, who is it going to be?
I don't know. I'm feeling like Serral is going to make it.
Serral's definitely really strong, but on the other side of the bracket, we have Haas and Mystery.
Yeah.
And Mystery, to me, is kind of a mystery. I don't really know much about him. I don't know much about his playstyle, but Haas are really aggressive.
Yeah.
Really aggressive Protoss. Really strong timing attacks.
Yeah.
In PvP, that's really tough to deal with.
It certainly is. That's going to be a very exciting match. Of course, we will check that out tomorrow. Definitely don't go anywhere yet, guys. After the Esports Summit, which is coming up next, we will have an Archon show match, which is going to be just insane. It's SOS and Maru against Life and Zest. But for now, we are done with StarCraft. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll be back soon.